What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasho, welcome back to the channel, and for today's WWE news video, this is going to be a little interesting because I'm going to be talking about Pete Dunne's contract expiring, Elias teasing a character change, I guess, WWE still wanting to re-sign Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt as a new character. So let's talk about that for a second, because if you guys remember, Bray Wyatt was released from his contract not too long ago, and we found out that he was dealing with some mental issues, if you will. And apparently he posted on Twitter saying, "You can't kill it." I'm actually going to look it up on Twitter on my phone. Because I think I'm following Bray on Twitter, if I remember right. So, So apparently this was the tweet. This was the photo that he had showed. I'm not so sure if the camera will do it justice, if the lighting will do it justice, but that was that was the photo he posted, and he said, "You can't kill it." I assume it meant that we were gonna have a new version of the Fiend. My assumption is that we could have gotten a new version of the Fiend, but he was let go just a couple of weeks ago at the end of July, which ended his 12-year tenure with WWE. His last match happened at this past year's WrestleMania, where he lost to Randy Orton in the opening match on night 2, and that happened by succumbing to a distraction from Alexa Bliss, who has effectively inherited an altered version of the Fiend on Raw. So I mean, it is possible that he could have had we could have had a new version of the Fiend. It is very possible, but he also, if I remember correctly, I think, yeah, so on his Instagram, he had decided to, how can I say it? How can I even put it? He went on to his Instagram and teased something called the Cult of Wyndham. I don't know what the hell that's about. But it's hard to say what that means. We don't know. Maybe it has something to do with a new faction elsewhere. Um, it may have something to do with a potential return. It's hard. It's hard to say, but honestly, I don't even know how to respond to this. Like, judging by what the photo looked like, excuse me, it seemed as if this new character might be a vampire. I don't know, but to be honest, I'm actually curious as to what that will do, but only time will tell. But speaking of new character changes, if you guys watched Raw this past Monday night, Elias was at a campfire, so to speak, and he took his guitar and threw it into the fire, and he said, quote, WWE stood for Walk with Elias, but Elias is dead. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. And excuse me. I don't know, but his last match, the last match he had, was on July 19th, where he had lost to Jackson Riker in a Symphony of Destruction match. I believe this would be the third ever Symphony of Destruction, and yeah, he ended up losing to Jackson Riker. This was right around the time that we started to have paying fans come in and attend the Raw and SmackDown shows. So as far as like what we can expect from this like new character, it could mean he might get a little serious when it comes, with his in-ring performances. It might be something else. I don't really know, but honestly, I'm actually kind of interested in what we will see. But only time will tell as far as like. But only time will tell as far as what the future holds for Elias. I mean, I know that he had won the 24/7 title a couple times, but yeah, I'm actually interested. I'm actually interested in what the future holds for him, but only time will tell. We might see him, become a much more different person. We might see him potentially, become become more serious. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. But now the big question remains: are we really going to see Daniel Bryan come back to WWE? If you guys remember, his last match in WWE was back in April. Can this thing work? Well, apparently not. Anyway, so his last match in WWE was actually... The hell? I think my laptop froze. Anyway, so his last match in WWE took place back in April, if my memory serves, and he basically lost to Roman Reigns, and hang on, guys. My laptop decided to be stupid, so I'm gonna try and restart this thing. So while that's reloading, I'm actually gonna go back to where I was on my phone. So I'm actually gonna look it back up on my phone because I had everything on my laptop, but I ended up losing it for some reason. Here we are. So his last match again was back in April when he lost to Roman Reigns in a career versus title match for the Universal title. And there have been rumors saying that he was going to sign with, was it AEW? Yeah, apparently. Again, I don't watch them. I don't really care to, but it has been rumored. But apparently WWE is still keen on re-signing him, and if this becomes true and he re-signs with WWE, odds are he'll most likely be on Raw. He won't be on SmackDown because of the fact that he's banned from being on SmackDown again. So we might see him on Raw, but only time will tell. Only time will tell as to what the future can hold for Daniel Bryan. But I'm very curious as to what the future will hold for him, because if you guys remember, when it came to being in the WWE, Daniel Bryan has had an extremely successful career, being a multi-time world champion, having being a multi-time world champion, having won the United States title, having won the tag team titles on a couple of occasions, and not only that, but also having won the WWE title, which was his last championship before he ended up losing to Roman Reigns. So, could we see Daniel Bryan come back? Yes, I would love to see Daniel Bryan come back, but potentially be on Raw. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to go to NXT and become not just become a coach, but also become a performer, and watch him go up against superstars from the likes of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, and maybe even also Samoa Joe. I know that they've had a really interesting past going back to their days in Ring of Honor. But that being said, that aside, Pete Dunne's contract is set to expire. So from what we know, Pete Dunne's contract with WWE is set to expire on September 1st, so at the beginning of September. However, there's been rumors going around saying that he's going to re-sign with WWE. If this is the case, we may see him come back to, get called up to the main roster. It is highly possible, but only time will tell. But this also ties into Adam Cole's contract, where it had expired back in July of last month, and he had signed a extension which would last until through SummerSlam weekend, which would culminate at NXT TakeOver 36, where we found out that it's going to be Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, the final chapter, the last chapter. It'll be 2 out of 3 falls match. Kyle O'Reilly would pick the first fall. Adam Cole would pick the second fall. William Regal, the NXT GM, would pick the third fall. The first fall, a traditional wrestling match, straight up. The second, a street fight. The third, if necessary, a steel cage. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I was hoping that Regal would pick the same steel cage that we saw at TakeOver Toronto 2, where we saw Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole for the NXT title 2 out of 3 falls match. Because I think Adam Cole picked, if my memory serves me correctly, Adam Cole in the first fall picked a traditional wrestling match. Johnny Gargano picked a street fight, and then Regal picked a steel cage where it was not only was it wrapped in barbed wire, but there were weapons surrounding the entire inside of the cage. I believe so. Yeah, I think so. I was hoping that we would see that, but unfortunately that did not come to pass. But you know what? It's all good. I don't mind steel cage match. But that being said, Pete Dunne had signed with WWE back in 2017 as part of NXT UK, where he became the second ever NXT United Kingdom champion. However, he had took part in the inaugural NXT United Kingdom Championship tournament, which was won by Tyler Bate, who is now the NXT UK Heritage Cup champion, which is an incredible feat for a guy like Tyler Bate, having been on NXT UK since day one. You know, it's all good. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day. Where do you see Pete Dunne going from here when his contract expires? Do you want to see him go to Raw? Do you want him on Do you want to see him on SmackDown? Or do you want to see him go somewhere else? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE news videos, which gets posted every Thursday. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have family you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.